Welcome back, where we talk about faith, life, and purpose. First of all, I just want to start off by saying I hope everyone is doing well. Um, I hope you're having a great day today. This is the weekend, so I hope you know God has you know carried you and gave you a successful and productive week, and now you have the weekend to rest up if you can. Um, but yeah, I'm just here. I just want to share some things that was kind of on my heart, pulling at my heartstrings. I just really miss being around a community of like-minded people. I haven't been around people in like 6 years. Like, it actually makes me want to cry when I say that out loud. Like, 6 years, you guys. Like, oh my God. And the reason I say it's been that long is because when the pandemic broke out, and everyone was getting sick all over the world and passing away, our pastor had closed the doors to our church and we just never reopened. But God had already revealed to her years before the pandemic even broke out and occurred that something big was going to hit our country. But she just didn't know what. So God had already start preparing, having her to prepare our church to transition from no longer being within the four walls. But still, even in that preparation, no one still knew, what was going to happen, what the outcome, afterlife after that, was going to look like. So when that happened, when COVID broke out, and the doors to our church closed, it was just like, wow. You miss being able to fellowship with your fellow family, because that becomes your family. You miss the fellowship, you miss the praise and worship, you just miss all of that. And so what was even harder and devastating for our church is that we lost 3 of our members, and my dad was one of them. One of our church members, she lost both of her parents. Now, they didn't go to our church, but she lost both of her parents within 1 week. So is like so many people experienced loss in our church, and it was just so sad and such a hard and dark period for us to cope with. And so I just miss being a part of a physical community where we are able to fellowship and worship together, just all of the things. I just miss all of that. And aside from that, God had me in a season of isolation, and he's been renewing my mind and heart. And I felt like I was Nehemiah's wall that had been torn down, and God had to rebuild. And I had commented on somebody's post the other day because she was talking about how God had a lot of us in the season of isolation. And I commented, yeah, I feel like John on the island of Patmos. And she responded back with a laughing emoji, like, I know, right? So this is just something, I'm not going to be on here long. This is just what was on my heart. Yeah, I was thinking about this around midnight last night before I went to bed. I was praying and counseling and talking with God and just laying some things at his feet on how I was feeling and stuff. And so, I just wanted to share that with you all. I'm making my business to keep my brothers and sisters of the faith lifted up before God, because we are constantly faced with the issues of this harsh world we live in, where our faith, our trust, our obedience to God, and our dependence in God is tested on every side, every day. Like, we never know what we're going to be faced with. So we must just remember that we are better and stronger as a community, and we could bring a greater wellness. We can bring a greater awareness and change when there's unity, and we got to remember that when there's unity, we can bring that awareness and change versus when there's division. So like I said, I'm not gonna stay long. I just want to share what was laying on my heart. I miss my community of the faith. I just miss being in fellowship with my fellow. And it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't necessarily have to be I just miss, ushering in the presence of God. Yes, I do that, God and me, but it's so beautiful when you can share that with like-minded people. And so I love you all, and I want you all to stay strong, encouraged, and always remember to put on the armor of God, because we need that each and every day to stand against the enemy and the attacks of the enemy. But once again, until I send out another post, you all stay blessed and stay encouraged. And once again, remember to put on the armor of God. I love you all.